All right. Thank you for joining me. I'm Brian Banks for Your Career Day. Can you give us your name?
Hi, this is Dan Snow.
All right, Dan. And where's your hometown?
I'm in Burbank, California.
Burbank, California. All right.
Yeah.
And what is your career title?
I am the co-owner of a post-production facility called Anarchy Post.
Okay. Okay. And what does being a co-owner of a post-production house, what does that entail?
So basically, our company does the final sound mixing and color grading for movies and television shows, and we sort of make the file before it goes to the network or to the theaters. And my job, I'm more of a on the managerial side of things. So I do the
Mhm.
scheduling and the supervision. I do the bids. I go get the money, which is tricky.
Yeah.
And then I have my partner Eric. He's the technical supervisor, so he
Hmm.
handles all the equipment and the technical delivery requirements and all the questions like that. So it's a pretty even split as to who does what.
Okay. Now, what type of education is required to do something like this?
It varies. What's interesting is I've been doing audio post production mainly for 25, 30 years. I don't
Hmm.
know how to use any of the stuff. I can't sit down at a computer and run Pro Tools or do sound editing. So basically, I, I went to high school, went to college, but then got out and started making music videos.
Okay.
Didn't know anything. So basically, my friend from high school, he went directly after high school into the business because his
Hmm.
dad worked in the business. So he started as a director. And I was at college. And then he was like, well, when you get out, come back up. I was in San Diego and I went back to LA and we just started doing music videos. And that's how I learned.
Okay.
So we did music videos for years, probably did about 100 of them. And then we did a movie and I was
Hmm.
like a producer on the movie, just kind of everyone's doing whatever they can. And we went into the post production process of the movie and I was like, huh, this is interesting. What is this? I'm inside. I'm not on a set, and it's like, because
Right.
back, in your 20s, you're just drinking sodas and smoking cigarettes and just staying up all night and making movies, which is fine. But as you get older. Um, so then it was at that moment that I learned what post production was.
Okay.
And so I was an assistant, I was a runner, and then I kind of moved into scheduling and supervision and things like that. So, but basically, it was all just taught just by seeing it happen.
Right.
I had a degree from San Diego, but it like had nothing to do with what I ended up doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So now, what type of person is best suited to do what you do?
For me, I'm very calm.
Hmm.
Um, I can talk to anybody. I try to sort of navigate people through things, but
Hmm.
also in a sense though with our company, like I'm kind of the good cop. And then there's and not that my partner's the bad cop, but you need someone also when you're running a business to
Yeah.
you got to have both sides of it.
Right.
Um, but I'm very detail oriented. My desk is basically post-its and calendars and a big calendar on the wall and a calendar on my phone and it's all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it's like organization and communication are
Okay.
the biggest things for this part of the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you talked about a little bit. What was your role to your current position? How'd you get here?
So like I said, it was yeah, I did music videos, which there's no money in music videos. So it's like do them to learn stuff, but it's not a
Right.
career. And then sort of saw what post production was, and then I went to work as an assistant, and as a runner, and then I went to work at a facility called Media City Sound where we did reality television,
Uh-huh.
and I sort of ran that place for 12 years in the scheduling side of things and operations
Okay.
and did that. And after a while, the scheduling of it and the deadlines with television were a little much. I was like, let me move into features. And
Right.
then that's when I went to a different place and then I met my partner and we started our own place because we're like, we know the best workflow. We
Right.
know what to do. And it coincided with a time in the industry where everything became affordable
Right.
with Pro Tools and with color correction and things like that. So it's like it's still it was an expensive endeavor, but it wasn't like it was 30 years ago.
Right. Right.
So then we were able to start a place in Glendale, and now we're going into our 14th year, I think.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you probably have touched on a little bit of for our viewers
Yeah.
what makes it fun, interesting, or exciting. But what does it? I mean, what makes it fun, interesting, and exciting to you?
For me, it's the variety of projects,
Hmm.
and also it's the good and it's the two sides of the coin, but it's the educating the filmmakers as to what
Okay.
the process is. You know, we have a lot of like filmmakers that have done it a couple times, but a lot of times it's their first project
Okay.
and it's their baby and
Right.
it's the most important thing, and you want to help them through it and sort of help them get to the next step without spending all their money. There's a lot of traps, you know, so it's like if you don't know, it can be a very dangerous place to go
Yeah.
through. But what makes it fun is the different people, and you come together, and then you're gone, but you still stay in touch, you know. So it's like the variety of things is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Now, can you touch on something I'm not sure our viewers would understand is the post production? What types of things? You said color correction. So, what does color correction mean? What does Foley mean?
Yeah.
Some of the things that you do.
So basically, we split it into the video side and the audio side. So they shoot their movie, and then they
Mhm.
sit with their editor. And when they're done editing, when the picture is locked and they're not going to make any changes to it, then they send it to us. And so on the video side of it, we put it into a room for what's called color grading, where they'll sit with one of our color artists and they'll work on it for 1 or 2 weeks and just tweaking the color, making
Yeah.
it look as good as they can. And on the other side of the coin is audio, where we'll take the movie in, we'll clean up all the dialogue, then we'll add sound effects, add ambiances. Um, if we need to have actors or actresses come in and record stuff, we'll bring them in, and then we'll get the music from the composer, and then at the end of it, we'll do a final mix where it all comes together.
Okay.
So when it comes to us, it's basically like right from the picture editor, and then when it leaves here, it looks great, it sounds great, and it goes right off to Netflix or Sony or whatever.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thanks for explaining that. I should have
Oh
had you
yeah.
earlier. So my final question is, what advice would you give to someone that might want to follow in your footsteps?
Basically, there are so many different aspects of this industry that you could find a job in,
Hmm.
but you have to sort of explore them and try different things. It's always great to work as a PA, so you see what it's like on set. It's
Okay.
great if you can to work as a post PA for post production. You just need to be exposed because there's so many little jobs
Right.
that exist that the people that are doing them, when you find the right match of the person in the job, they're so happy.
Right.
You know, so we have like Foley artists where they're the least technical people you've ever met, but they're artists, and they come in and they're the ones, they re-record the footsteps,
Right.
and they'll pick up, you know, like a drink or something and do all that and record all the sound effects.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
watch them do it and it's magical. But
Yeah.
there's a that's like such a tiny corner of the industry, or there's another part of the industry where a Walla group will come in, and that's a group of people that come in and just provide background voices for movies.
Right.
It seems crazy, but they come in and they'll sit in the room I'm in now, and they'll sit for 6 hours and they'll just blah 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 blah, and it's great and they love it. So it's like there's so many different things. Then you have picture editors and people that do color and people that do sound and sound, and people like me that just kind of schedule and supervise and do that.
Right.
But you never know. You never know about these things until you can sort of put yourself out there and get exposed to each like specific job.
Right. That's
Yeah.
perfect. No, that was perfect. Dan. I really appreciate your time.
My
Uh,
pleasure.
yeah, this was great, and hope to see you soon. Hopefully, be back out there at some point and get a chance to stop by and see you.
That'd be great.
All right. Have a great day, and thanks again for doing this.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.